It's been so hot in DC. It's crazy. But did you know black and brown people across the world are reconnecting to their roots and redefining their relationships with the land by gardening and farming? And Black Gardener Talk is dedicated to sharing those voices to inspire all people of color and maybe even some that don't look like us to grow by any means necessary. But sometimes we just need our own safe space to talk. Good morning, I'm Kamani Anku, and this is Black Gardener Talk. And my guest today is Barrington, the garden superhero. Hey,
Hey, what's going on,
some technical difficulties going on. I don't know what's going on with my Instagram. It's always acting up when I
It's
want
all
to
good.
do it right. How are you this morning?
Yeah, but they're not a little bit.
Okay, I'll wait till you get your camera
Yeah, yeah,
situated.
yeah, yeah. I have to wipe it off a little bit.
Okay, so you've been up. How's your Saturday morning so
Yeah,
far?
it's been pretty chill.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been trying to get a little few things done
You
beforehand.
okay.
Yeah.
I can't see any comments, so if you see any comments, let me know.
Okay.
For some reason I can't see them. But what are your first memories of gardening?
Um, so we had like when I was growing up, we had like peach trees, pear trees, grapevines, like berries, stuff like that. We had a pecan tree in the front yard.
Okay.
Um, so like I had family members or whatever that used to like farm and like had chickens and stuff like that, and they would grow things. And then I think I really became interested in growing watermelon because it was my favorite fruit. And
Okay.
I had did it successfully one time, but that time I had put it in the freezer or whatever, and I left it in there too long, so I didn't get to enjoy it. So after that, like I was kind of determined to like grow some watermelon. And
Okay.
I never really, got around to it, making a chance. But like about 5 years ago, I just started like keeping like aloe and stuff like around the house, and like then monsteras, and then
Okay.
like things kind of grew from there
Okay.
to where they are now.
Okay. And then you said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back out there and grow some more watermelons."
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. As I said, I got to get it right.
Yo, speak from a young person's view because I'm assuming you way younger than me. Why
I'm
did you,
32.
as a young person, decide you want to start growing your own food?
um, well, because like I feel like it tastes better for one. Um, like I said, like if you have a fresh, watermelon or fresh fruit, you know what I'm saying, right there, like like there's a difference in the taste, and like it just seemed like I guess like I said, like when I like got right back into it like 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
like things were like questionable, so it seemed like a more sustainable, thing to do other than going to be that. And also too, I think at the time I had I was selling sea moss, and
Okay.
I thought, I had the idea, well, what if I like start growing my own herbs and and things like that and plants like that to incorporate with it and make a whole like natural um, business, but kind of move away from that. Something I still kind of interested in doing, but
Why
you know,
did you
I,
move away from it? Because 5 years ago we were in the middle of a crisis, a COVID
yeah.
crisis. Why did you decide to move away? I feel like a lot of folks have moved away from CMOS gardening and everything since COVID kind of like disappeared, so to speak.
Yeah, so I still, like having I use it, sometimes like here and there or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like market it or sell it or anything like that like I did before. Um, it was something that, that I tried out, it had its run and
Okay. So I'm assuming you got a full-time job at some point because I never see you at work. I see you
yeah,
in the garden
yeah, so
superhero every
yeah,
day.
I'm
I'm
in
assuming you got a full.
the I'm in the food industry. So
Okay.
yeah,
So it's closely related to what you're doing now out there
yeah. I
in
mean,
like
man,
the
and,
garden.
and eventually, like I said, like you know, maybe ideally I could, provide, like food for different restaurants or like, grocery stores and markets and things like that.
Okay. What was your first garden success? Prior to now, not 5 years ago, but this year or last year. What was your first garden success? Meaning, did you have anything that you had an abundance of that you was like, damn, I could do this?
Uh, uh ooh. Well, of course, I always do watermelon
Okay.
every year, ever since I always do watermelon. Um, I've been getting really good at the peppers
Okay.
and and like this year was my first time doing the heirloom tomatoes.
Okay.
Um, well, I had got actually a neighbor of mine. He had gave me a couple plants like either last year or the year before. So like I had been like propagating them and keeping it. And then like last year I had tried to like get some, but my dog ended up running through the garden. Like cut the plant.
Mm,
So it didn't have enough time to to get back to a healthy state to grow.
okay.
And do stuff like that. Um,
Them damn
yeah,
dogs.
yeah. And right now I got four of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they tearing up the garden this year, or they just kind
They're
of
in,
chilled out?
yeah, they're in the backyard. They actually, they're culprit of why I haven't really used my greenhouse this season.
Okay.
Um, but I actually the garden is actually in the front yard.
Okay.
So
And what types of peppers are you growing? Are you growing jalapenos, sweet peppers, habaneros?
yeah,
What types of peppers?
so I'm doing jalapenos. I got bell peppers. I got black Hungarian. Got I said habanero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Any
got
ghost
Thai.
peppers?
I got Thai, shishito.
Oh wow. You must go start making some pepper sauce. Are you
Um,
gonna make pepper sauce?
but I like actually dehydrating it and actually turning it into like spices and stuff too.
Okay, cool. Talk about that a little bit. Are you doing that with just the peppers? Are you doing that with any other vegetables you have? I mean, you could do a
Um,
tomato like that and make tomato powder as well.
yeah, actually, I was just watching a video. Andre the Farmer he had a video. Where he was like doing some tomato skins and he had turned it into a powder. Then like rehydrated it later. I was just doing that, but actually, I've only really have ever done it with the peppers. I like
Okay.
spicy stuff.
Okay. So you gr- you
Um,
you you cutting them up, you dehydrating, then you are you mixing the two, or is it just like a jalapeno spice? Are you mixing it with anything like salt or garlic or anything like that?
just the straight peppers themselves, like cayenne,
Okay.
whatever. Just dry them out and blend them up. I, and
Okay.
I did it now, and I have done it with like moringa too.
Okay.
Waiting on I had
Moringa spice. That's what you
no
got. You got
moringa,
some moringa. Oh, just
moringa like
by
from like
itself.
the actual moringa tree and like making a powder out of like the leaves and stuff.
Okay.
Um,
But you're not mixing it with the spice.
no,
You just
no, no,
making it.
no. This it's like separate from that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was about to say. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I mean, it might be good for
Like,
you,
hey, look,
even plus,
it
because
might, hey, look, it might,
I
it
mean,
might have a benefit.
because the spice can really like clean your system in
Maybe
the moringa.
activate something with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to
Look.
say that sounds interesting. Uh, let's talk about the name, the garden superhero. Who named you the garden hero superhero? Or did you give yourself that name, and why?
uh, so, um, like, of course, like I had, like before my name was like Smile Hills, and I changed my name because I wanted to, kind of like, rebrand, my page
Okay,
around, gardening since that was, what I was falling, heavily into,
okay,
and so I came up with the Latin name B in Horto,
okay,
and so it means like basically be in the garden.
okay.
Um, and
I like that. I
So
get it now.
it's,
At first, I was
yeah,
like, what is
yeah,
this
speeding it down.
BIN?
But
Yeah.
I say it like Ben Horto because when I was talking to my sister about it, we started kind of like making jokes around it, and like making sounds like, oh, Ben Horto, help me, saying little
Okay.
things like that, whatever. So it became like kind of like a joke that I kind of just ran with it.
Okay. And that turned into the garden
Yeah.
superhero.
So yeah.
Okay.
Then
So what powers do you possess? I possess. I can fly. What powers do you have?
to, to rescue plants,
Okay.
to nurse them, bring them back, to inspire, whether that's through, I don't know, garden mindset. I don't know. It's a lot of other things.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Keep that. I say keep that name up, the garden superhero. And I know you do some crazy things in your video. Maybe you need to tap into what your power
Yeah.
are and really
Yeah.
focus on that. And make videos around that. Maybe you could get a cape or something or a costume
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point.
I've been looking. I've been kind of exploring that idea a little bit. Kind of
Okay.
building. More so a brand around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's what's up. So from we talked about your success, what were some of your first mistakes that you made throughout this garden journey so far? Besides putting the watermelon
Ooh,
in the refrigerator or the
in the
freezer.
freezer. Oh man, of course, I mishaps, making harvest too early,
Okay.
cutting things and stuff like that. Um,
When you say harvest early, what did you harvest early? That you was like, man, I should have waited a few more weeks.
um, Sometimes I've done, like melons. Uh, Sometimes it'll be, you know, like I don't know. I guess like it depends on what I'm growing at the
Okay.
time. Cause well, I got I don't know. It's a lot. It's
Talk to us. People might be listening later on. They might be watching this later on. They might want to know because they might be going down that same
yeah,
path.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
going through the mistakes and stuff like that. Um,
It, it's
well,
just me and
one,
you. Stop being
yeah, no, yeah, no,
stop
no.
being
I'm trying
nervous. Stop being shy.
to, yeah, a little.
It's just
Um,
us right now.
okay.
We're
But
just having a conversation like I'm sitting right there with you.
yeah, yeah. Um, of course, like
Well,
soil,
watermelon, of course, you
soil,
can harvest. That's too fast.
soil is soil.
Okay.
Things like that. Like getting that right. Um, Getting watering right. Uh,
And what does watering right look like? Are you pouring the water on the leaves, or are you pouring it on the soil, or is you're not doing it enough?
uh,
What does that look
both.
like?
Well, honestly, because it depends on what kind of soil you have.
Okay.
So
Well, break it down. We want to
yeah,
know.
I'm like so at this spot that I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're renting, and then like I guess the owners they've been they let us do whatever, but so I've been like building the soil up for like the past 3 years, and the bulk of it is just like really really sandy. Um,
Okay.
so like I haven't used a whole lot of mulching like prior to like now. Like now, like I have a batch of mulch and stuff like that that I'm trying to do out. But like I've been having to like water very frequently, like and especially since it's been like really hot. So I've been like grateful for the rain.
Okay.
And all that we getting or whatever, because I don't have an irrigation system. So
Mm-hmm.
it takes me like over half an hour to work to get everything like nice and watered.
Okay.
Um,
And
so
are you watering? Are you watering with a hose, or are you
yeah,
watering with a water can?
with a hose.
Okay.
Yeah. And like eventually I want to get to a point to where I have like kind of like a rain barrel set up where I can use that because I
Mm-hmm.
know like the water and I can see like from like stuff I'm experiencing, because I'm like I can see like disease and stuff like creeping in. I know part of it is because like I'm using the tap water to water with, and like that's getting on the leaves. You know, it has a bunch of chemicals and stuff in it, so it's just like kind
Mhm.
of like making the plants kind of weak and more susceptible to the disease and the pests and stuff like that. So I'm fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's the crime that I'm fighting.
I mean, I use a combination of
You
tap
know?
water and rainwater. So
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
you could use the tap water right now, and I've been using the tap water because this has not been any rain. It rained yesterday, and there's some water in the rain barrel, but yeah, I use tap water. I haven't seen um that big of a deal just yet. But I'm not growing a lot of stuff this year. I decided to focus on growing a lot of food at work because that's where I'm at most of the time. But I still got some things out in my yard that I'm growing
yeah,
this year.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what. Well, I want to get to the point. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a like this has been like more so like kitchen garden, like type, ordeal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of it, as an ornamental food landscape. Um,
Okay.
but I do want to like eventually like get to the point where it's more of like a food forest like type ordeal, where there's stuff that's like I don't have to like sow seeds every year, or
Okay.
be worried about if it's good while I'm going away for something like that.
Okay.
I want something that's more sustainable too. So I'm kind of like I'm doing a lot of learning, and kind of finding my way and navigating stuff, and figuring out how I can incorporate that into what I'm already doing. Um,
And I would say one of the great things about social media, you can document everything that you're doing, and so you can come back 2 years later and it's like, oh, that cabbage didn't work, and I got the video and I used that tap water, so now I got me a rain barrel, and now it's looking good. So I think stay on that journey, document as much stuff as possible, so you can have that food forest, so you can have that sustainability down the line. I think with the new administration right now that's happening, we need to all be growing food.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Whatever way we
yeah,
can. You know what I'm
I
saying? If
agree.
it's a shoebox,
I
we
agree.
need to be growing it
That's
in.
what I said. Like, I literally like started off. That's what I said. Like as I started like growing the practice past like like the little indoor like the countertop plants and stuff like that. Like, I started using solo cups. You know,
Okay.
and I was growing stuff out of solo cups, and I'm like, and I did experiments and stuff like that. Like I tried to grow watermelon out of solo cup, things like that. But
Okay.
I've had peppers and stuff produced
Yeah.
in the solo cup. I grew the papayas in the solo cup. Started those off like that. Started avocados off in the solo cup. It's there's a lot of different stuff people do. You know, and like me, like I said, like you know, I'm kind of I'm doing this humbly, right now, and making the most of what I have. So yeah, like I'm trying to, yeah, do this without
Mhm.
as
How
economic as possible.
yeah. How much food do you think you're growing? Is it at 10%, 20%, or 5%, or higher than 30%?
What do you mean, like as far as like the amount, or
The amount that you can sustain yourself and the family where you're living at, is it enough food that you can grow to feed yourself and as many people in your house?
uh I think with the space, accommodating something, yes, that's very possible. But at the same time, like right now,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm still, kind of like organizing the flow of things, um, you know, when to harvest stuff, when to start stuff all together, and like putting it all out. Like, I'm just like all right, I got this. I'm gonna put this. Okay, all right, what else do I want to do? I'm gonna do this and this and third, without actually sitting down and planning. Okay, like this needs to be started. Then I need to start this much of it to last till then, or I have heard about succession planning.
Mm-hmm. Your voices keep going in and out a little
Oh,
bit.
I'm sorry. My finger was covering the thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But yeah. So I've heard of like succession planning and things like that. Uh, so I'm just trying to get a little bit more organized and
Okay.
because I kind of been growing stuff. You
Okay.
know,
That sounds good. Well, let me reframe the
but
question, I
not
guess.
that. But in all honesty, honestly, like I see that it is like um okay. So I have like in front of me there's 4 tomato plants.
Okay.
Um, they're not producing right now, but they're like there's a lot of flowers.
Okay.
That'll bring a lot of tomatoes in. The heirloom tomato bushes or whatever, there's like clusters and clusters. And like we haven't even hit July yet. So I know there's gonna be a lot more of those. And, based upon, how we eat or
Mm-hmm.
use tomatoes, we may have more than enough, you know, at a specific time than we can use.
Okay.
So that's why I said like I'm trying to figure out ways that we can make it like more sustainable. So
Okay.
it could be like, okay, are we gonna have tomatoes for only 2 months out of the year, or are we gonna have tomatoes for 8 to 10 months or whatever? Whether that's
Okay.
we're growing them
Forever. Go
outdoors,
forever.
right? You know what I'm saying? Outdoors, because like honestly, the heirloom tomatoes like they're thriving and they're
Okay.
just it came from like a cutting that I took from last year, and like I
Okay.
took it and propagated it, but like there's several of these heirloom tomato like bushes or whatever, and they're busting, and
Oh wow. So
so
I guess if you have more than enough sometimes with tomatoes, you're probably growing about probably like 25% of your own food,
yeah.
which it
So,
sounds like.
so it's tomato.
Um
So yeah, like we have we got an abundance of tomatoes, uh, peppers. There's like we got at least almost 10 jalapeno plants or
okay.
more, maybe more than that.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
like I probably got I'm looking right now. I probably got more than 30 jalapenos that I could pick right now. Way more. Just looking at we're just looking at them. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I got a lot of basil and stuff like that. So got there's a lot of peppermint and things like that. So that's herbs. Got like butterfly pea. Um, so those things like that. Of course, you got the collards. Those 2 pounds that I just harvested the other day.
Hmm.
Like that grew like that. The last time I had took some off was like Mother's Day.
Okay.
Um, and and the way we eat, I mean, we don't eat them every day or every week or whatever, but um, I did have a lot more collard plants, so I know like that those can, what I'm saying, be grown sustainably to a point that where we can, eat them all year, kale
Okay.
and stuff all year.
Yeah.
I always have kale, um, broccoli. My broccoli hasn't been my my broccoli hasn't been doing anything.
And why
Um,
is that? Why do you
oh,
think it hasn't been doing
I
anything?
don't know. Um,
Okay.
Honestly,
I
the
think
big
maybe it
ones.
might be too hot for broccoli.
Okay, yeah. I mean that too. Like that's what
Yeah.
people been saying. But I think also too, I may have like over
Okay.
fertilized.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's not going to seed. Like
Okay.
it just keeps producing a lot of like shoots and leaves.
Okay. But nothing. No. No
No,
broccoli sprouts. No.
no,
No. No. Not going to seed.
no, nothing. Yeah.
Interesting. Are you sure it's broccoli?
Right. That's what that's what somebody said. I'm like, it couldn't be anything else. I'm like, the kale that I have, it's
Mm.
like I have like a red, like uh, a red no, what's it called, like
Okay.
dazzling blue, and then like the dinosaur kale.
Okay.
So like those are the only kales that I've ever grown. So I'm like, and they've never gotten like that. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
Because I'm mistaken broccoli before. I mistaken broccoli for some actually collard greens. They don't was doing really well, and I was like, yeah, I got these amazing collard greens coming up. Next thing I knew, it was broccoli, and I was like, holy what? What?
Mm-mm.
How did this
It
happen?
might
So make
look.
sure you're growing what you
Hey,
think you're
look.
supposed to be growing.
It might be something cross pollinated.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
And so you never
It's,
know. You just keep,
uh,
I guess, keep watching it and see what it's gonna do. But anything, you can always eat the leaves off all
yeah.
those types of vegetables.
Yeah, I got a couple recipes I say I'm supposed to try out. Um, but typically, we don't like mostly, we would know about collard greens and stuff like that. That's what we used to eating.
Yeah,
Collard greens, mustards, and stuff like that. People not used to eating. Uh,
cauliflower
yeah,
leaves.
yeah, things like broccoli, leaves,
Yeah, broccoli leaves. So where I work at, we give out broccoli leaves and cauliflower leaves. Um, I started hearing about eating those maybe 5 years ago. My little brother who grows, he's like, "You're throwing your cauliflower and your broccoli leaves in the compost bin." I'm like, well, what else am I supposed to do with it? I already got the cauliflower and the broccoli. Like, no, you eat it, you cook it like green. So I'm enjoying that, and now I'm starting to see a lot of that happen, which is pretty good because now you can eat the whole plant, which
hmm
is good.
right. And there's a lot of plants actually, like surprisingly, like you said, I'm finding out that you can actually eat the whole plant and it's good. Like
Hmm.
some people eat, the radish leaves and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Like they're like very young and stuff like that. Like of course, people eat turnip greens.
yeah. Yeah, most people, it's funny you talk about turnips. So most of the people where I work, they only knew turnip greens, but I actually cooked them the actual turnip. And this was like their first time ever eating a turnip. And I was like, your grandma didn't cook turnips? If you from the South, if your grandparents are from the South, I'm sure you had a turnip or a rutabaga. And they were like, no, they never had that. And so they was surprising how good an actual fried turnip was, or air fried turnip like a chip. So they was really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
So keep trying to eat different things that make you more sustainable in the long run. But my next question is, what advice would you give a new gardener that's starting out today? You've been growing for about 5 years now. You're starting to take it a little bit more serious. You on this different type of journey from 5 years ago. What advice would you give a new gardener that might be listening or might be watching right now?
Hmm.
And it could be something simple.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's always, don't be afraid to, start it. Um, I think again, like a lot of especially young people may, I'm not saying as a definitely, but may have a stigma against gardening and farming, because it's supposed to be something that old people do, or it's supposed to be something that people who live in rural areas and stuff like that do, or the whole like slave narrative and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. People kind of like stray away from that, or maybe some people don't look at it because they don't see it as anything rewarding, or um but that's why I try to do different things to kind of like make it as fun as possible,
Okay.
because
Yeah, and I can tell in your videos you're running and you jumping and stuff and you're doing all
yeah,
kinds of crazy stuff in your videos. I think that shows young people that it could be fun and it could be rewarding too at the same time.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think not to throw you off or whatever, or cut you off or whatever. I just think more young people need to see the benefits of it. Like when I hated tomatoes and I always got tomatoes from like the grocery store too. during my garden journey, but when I first grew my own tomato from a seed and I
Yeah.
tasted it, it was incredible. Like I don't even want to buy a tomato from the grocery store unless it's in the fall or the wintertime when I can't grow
Right.
tomatoes. I'm learning a lot about hydroponics now, growing in my through water, so I can have fresh
Mhm.
tomatoes. And so yeah, I
Yeah, that's
think
why
young people.
too. You know, like getting an indoor setup. You know, more so
Hmm.
going too. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what I said. Like it's like that. Like it's different when you come in like out the front door and you like grabbing a cucumber and you could just like bite it, virtually bite it straight off the vine. You know,
Hmm.
as opposed to you know you don't even know where this came from.
Okay.
You know, all kinds of hands that been touched.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So I guess young people, I guess we share the sentiments of like, just do it. Just get out there and grow something and see what happens. And
Yeah.
then go from there. And eventually, if you fall in love with it, you fall in love with it. If you don't, you don't. And it's not just for old folks.
No, and it's also too. I mean, like, because it's important to like to keep what I'm saying like these systems going
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So like if nobody's like interested in doing it or whatever, then then that just leaves space for us to not have access to you know whatever could be as fresh as possible for us.
Yes. Who wants to eat a can of string beans all the time? Not I.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm to the point now where I don't eat canned goods anymore. I buy some canned goods just in case the war
Yeah.
break out or something. But I buy very little canned food now. Definitely when I was growing up, my parents used to buy a lot of canned food, but now I try to eat as much fresh foods as possible. If not, I'm learning to also can my own foods. Like I do a lot of pickling, and I make my own tomato sauces now. And when COVID did hit, I did rearrange my kitchen to put more shelving in there so I can put my own canned foods in there. So I'm canning fresh stuff and I know what it looks like opposed to a lot of canned foods that got a lot of preservatives in it.
That's it. Well, it's important to know how to do that. That's what our like grandparents and stuff they used to do that all that stuff. Like my grandmother she still lives. She's 83. Like and she still tells me stuff about like how her mom and them used to have their garden and how they would
Okay.
preserve stuff and make whatever this that and third. They grew up eating you know stuff that was local to them, not you
Okay.
know. But
Question.
I guess as times change or whatever, it's cool that we can have access to things that aren't local to our area, so we can enjoy different.
Oh yeah, I
That.
know. I have pomegranates now growing in my yard.
Right.
Who knew you can grow pomegranates in Maryland?
Mhm.
And people be amazed every time I say, "Yeah, I have a pomegranate tree."
Right.
I only have three of them on there right now because
Yeah.
the rain and the storms and the heat done knocked them all off. But yeah, I
I
got
was
the tree.
trying to get one. I had found somebody who had some, but by the time I could get to them, they had been sold them. Whatever they had them for
Okay.
like $30 too. So good. So, yeah.
Speaking of that, where you buy your seeds from, or where you get your seeds from?
Um, some stuff I've gotten from like farm store,
Okay.
some stuff from like Tractor Supplies. Sometimes I've gotten from uh, like Home Depot or
Okay.
like that. I get them from online. Um, yeah, if anybody like has something I see particularly, whatever, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I can space that at the moment. Yeah, I do online stuff too. Uh, yeah,
Are you saving your seeds
yeah,
from your harvest that you get nowadays? Are you doing that?
yeah. Um,
Talk about
so
that a little bit. What seeds have you saved in the last year that you're
uh,
currently growing
that
now?
I'm currently growing now: okra,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
kale, watermelon,
Okay.
um, peppers, uh, the tomatoes, um, papaya,
Okay.
uh, avocados.
Okay.
What else?
Have your
Sweet toad.
have your papaya trees fruited yet?
They haven't fruited yet. It
Okay.
flowered. It flowered last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I said, like I'm still learning.
Okay.
So maybe I did something to kind of, offset the flower or throw it
Okay.
off or stress it out or something.
May-
Um,
Maybe it wasn't pollinated, you think?
maybe that could be it.
Okay.
And then this year it still might be a little bit more questionable because like the bees and stuff. There's other
Oh,
pollinators or whatever, but
oh yeah.
like just like a shortage of bees or whatever.
You
And
could
I've seen,
do hand pollination
yeah,
too. I tend to do hand pollination on my passion fruit,
hmm
which is it's fun to do. It's kind of like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to get into that too. I know I have to do it for because I got some dragon fruit too.
okay. Oh yeah, I
Uh,
have dragon fruit
and
too.
they're still kind of babies, but yeah,
I
I
only had
wait
one
till I
dragon
see
fruit
that.
and it actually fruited inside my house. So here we can't leave the dragon fruit out here in the wintertime. So I had to bring it in the house and I got a pretty nice size one that I was surprised. And yeah. And then I took it back outside the next year and it got so big that I couldn't bring it back in. And when I brought it back in, it fell in the middle of the floor and that's where it's been at since until this spring, and I finally found a it's a dragon fruit what is it, flower pot. So it has a flower pot with wheels on it that you can move, and then it has a
The little
um
post going through the middle.
yeah, a trellis, and so it's outside right now. And I pulled every piece that was still green, and put it in it. It's doing okay. I'm sure it's going to survive, but it probably won't produce anything this year. Probably next year. And this way, I can roll it into the house opposed to trying to pick it up, with a heavy pot, and then dragon fruit's got those sticky vines on it, so
Yeah.
I'm not getting yeah.
How
And so
long did it take for you to go from to like you had like you started with a little cutting or did you start it from seed?
actually, it's funny. So I do work at a big box store, Home Depot, on the weekends. And one day I was walking past the cactus vines or cactus plants, aloe and all of those stuff, and I saw something at the bottom and it was pink and it had a pink tag on it and it's a dragon fruit. And I was like, dragon
Yeah.
fruit? And Maryland, they got
Yeah.
to be, somebody must have ordered this
Somebody,
the wrong thing. And it was
somebody
like,
put it
and it
on the
was the
wrong
only
truck.
it was the only one too, and it was like $19. So I said, "What the heck? I'm gonna get it." I was like, "If it dies or whatever, I only paid $19, so I'm not out of a lot of money." You know what I'm saying? So I took it home, and it was I don't know what's going on with this thing. It just a sign just came up, but it was a healthy, nice little plant.
Yeah.
I took it home and put it in a. They said put it in a big pot, and I put it in a big pot, and it got really big, out of control. Actually, when I took it in the house the first year, it grew all the way around this
Really?
particular room. And then I was like, holy crap. And then I started cuttings and I was giving the cuttings away because I was like, I think you can grow dragon fruits in Maryland. So everybody come get a cutting, and so yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it didn't
I
take
need to
that
do I
long.
need to
It,
transplant as soon as possible because I got them
yeah.
in kind of like small pots. Because I was like, since the root system is not like really like developed, I didn't want to put it in
Oh no,
anything.
they them root system. Don't be fooled by their root system. You can take a whole piece that don't have no roots on it or anything, and it would thrive if it's green.
Yeah,
You put it in that dirt, and it's gonna pop up like crazy, and then start shooting off all these babies
yeah.
off it. It is
'Cause I got a
crazy.
bunch of babies. It's supposed to be. I don't know if it's gonna be true to variety, but they're supposed to be yellow, and I got some that I don't know what they are.
These are red
They were
ones,
yeah.
cause yeah, this is the red one. I think the yellow ones. I don't know that. I don't really like dragon fruit for real, for real. I just got it because it was $19, and I was like, "Oh, bro." I just feel like dragon fruit don't really have a good flavor unless you get one of those juicy red ones, and then you can kind of like taste a little bit. But I don't taste anything when I eat dragon fruit, especially the yellow ones. And I was
Yeah,
like, "Ew, what is
those
this?"
are my favorite ones.
Ugh. I don't feel like it got a taste. Do you think it has a taste to
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Describe the taste then for me.
It's more
Describe
of
what it
like
tastes like.
it's like a sweet nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet nothing. Don't have no flavor. I mean, it's good for you, but yeah, I don't think it has no flavor. The red one got just a
You get
hint,
that,
and I can't even describe what that tastes like. Um, the How has gardening changed you since you first started 5 years ago? You said you started 5 years ago. It's
mm,
5 years later.
yeah.
How has gardening, farming, homesteading have changed you?
Mm, it's allowed me to blossom. Um, it's allowed me to show up more for myself. It's allowed me
Hmm.
to express myself more. It's allowed me to be more of a communicator. Um, and kind of like build up a little bit of confidence.
Good. I like that answer. Really good answer. I mean, I feel like gardening has changed people's lives. I know gardening for me has saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So I owe it all to gardening and the man up above. But yeah, that sounds good. Um, yeah, walk in that purpose. Keep doing it. What do you? So it changed your life. It made you stronger. For yourself. But what do you enjoy most about it now? Like I know it's kind of like it sounds like the same
Yeah.
thing, but
No.
what do
I think it's
you
the whole. I think it's
enjoy
the whole
most?
growing. It's the growing aspect. Um, because like when you grow on or you like deal with plants and just like that, or like it could seem like you just like you know you just like plants or things like that, and I do. But my interest lies more so in growing food and the act of growing food and just kind of like being in communion with the whole process of
Okay.
you know nature and creation and stuff like that. Just
I mean,
having
that's a
that
good thing.
that food sovereignty.
Yeah.
Being able to say like I can, like I said, like say like I go right out my front yard or whatever. If I have a recipe that calls for onions, I go pick an onion. I can go pick garlic. I can go pick ginger. I can go pick tomatoes. I can go pick collards. I can go grab a
Okay.
cucumber. I can get some thyme. I can get some rosemary. I can get basil. I don't have to go to the store to get that stuff.
That's
You
what's up. One of my guests a few years ago said what they enjoy most about gardening is eating the food. Are
know?
you What types of recipes, what types of things are you making with the your harvest?
I'm actually, like kind of like discovering that because
Okay.
uh like when I like growing up, I used to I used to spit my vegetables behind the deep freezer, to like show, to show so I can make like my plate was clean so I can get some ice cream.
Okay. And kids still,
So
I don't know if they put it behind the deep freezer, but they still do things like that. I run farmers markets in schools, and so when they come down the line for the farmers market, we have the vegetables set up first,
yeah.
and it's like they want to go straight to like this month we had nectarines and we had blueberries and what else we had? I forgot what else, but they passed the broccoli and the spring onions and straight to the fruit. We was like, well, think about your mama and your daddy or your grandma, take them some broccoli so they can make you some orange chicken with broccoli or
Uh-huh.
something. And it's like, huh?
Yeah, right.
So yeah,
All right. So like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of this stuff, like okay, so now that I've grown, I didn't eat okra until I grew it.
Okay.
Um, it's like just ordeals like that. And so now that I'm growing stuff, I'm like, okay, like I, I've explored that curiosity, towards eating more vegetables and things like that, and kind of incorporating that into a lifestyle.
Okay. And how are you preparing your okra? Are you making a gumbo, or you frying it, or you pickling it?
And
How are you doing it?
so last year I started roasting them.
Okay.
Uh, and of course, like my grandma, she makes like stuff with okra and things like that. This year, they're slowly coming in. So I've like picked maybe like one or so, but it's like yeah, it hasn't been enough to like do anything,
Mm,
you know.
okay.
But there's like I have what I'm doing. So the seeds that I use from like the previous 2 seasons were like from Motherland okra,
Okay.
um, and they get pretty big too. They get 8 feet tall or more. Um, so that's the variety that I've been using, and I did get some of the uh, spine variety. I don't know. Forgot. I gotta look at the seed packet again.
Okay.
Um,
I
but I don't think they
had a guest
get.
on. They actually cultivating okra coffee,
Oh,
and so and they're working on a patent with a company now. So I guess you might be seeing some okra coffee on the
yeah,
shelves
pretty
in 2026.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
I
don't
give
know. I've
it a
seen
try.
that
I
okra
give it
water.
a try. Stuff too. But like I said, like I had never just up until first time
Yeah.
picking one off and trying it.
And
Never.
that's the exciting. That's the exciting thing because now you can go to some young people or young people in your family and be like, "Yo, eat this okra. It's really good for you." You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I probably would serve it fried for people who haven't had okra.
Right.
So
Right.
because
Right.
I
Right.
really like that.
Yeah.
But or in the gumbo when they don't know it's in the
Yeah.
gumbo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's like it's cool
What's
though.
your
'Cause
favorite? Go ahead.
no, you good.
No,
No,
finish
I
your
was gonna
thought.
say it was cool because I'm already like kind of like seeing that because
Okay.
like I have like sometimes like my niece, she likes to come out to the garden and do
Okay.
stuff like that too or whatever, and like she tries stuff and like like identifies stuff and and things like that too. So it's just like yeah, there's that whole aspect of it.
We have you may have you and your niece as garden. Y'all could be the super twins. You
Right?
remember
Yeah,
the super
it's my
twins?
little
The
my little side chick.
super twins. If you know anything about the super twins, I'm a little older, so I might got a one up on you. But what is your? Do you have a favorite plant or I mean vegetable or fruit that we haven't talked about? Is okra your favorite, or is watermelon your favorite, or
uh,
tomato is your favorite? What's your favorite?
Watermelon is definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Um, for sure, hands down. Watermelon is definitely my favorite because like that's what I'm like. I always do and then like that's kind of like I said like that's kind of where it it kind of like germinated me wanting to grow
Okay.
something is wanting to produce watermelon.
Okay. So if there's any folks online and they're watching us today, you could throw some questions in there. I can't really see them, but Barrington can read the question out if they are any questions. Anybody listening, watching, I can't see. Can you see?
Mm,
I'm sure someone's watching.
let's see something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got two more questions, then I'm done. But if folks out there
Yeah, I don't see.
want to.
Yeah, I don't see anything in front of it.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have a favorite trick or tip have that you have picked up the way in this garden journey of yours? Have you from 5 years ago to now? Do you have any tricks or tips that you could share with us that makes gardening easier? Maybe.
Hmm.
I know you got something.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of like I would say, kind of like plan ahead, but also too like just don't be afraid to like, kind of start something, because like as you are starting off, like there's gonna be things that you need to learn, so you're gonna make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, mishaps and things like that. So it's just like dive in it as much as you can, and kind of like be a little bit more decisive when you're doing it, because for one, like you lose out on time and you lose out on harvest, like, you know what I'm saying, like when
Mm-hmm.
you're not really being decisive with it. And it's like there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, like I had to start this, um and I end up putting my, okay, I'll start it tomorrow, I still have time, and I'm like, no, like, or I'm trying to, like, I want to get it organized in some way, I want to do it this way or whatever, and it's just like, you know
Okay.
doing all that mulling around or whatever, like you could have had this, could have had that, um, and you still would have been good, or what I'm saying, or you thought it was gonna turn out bad,
Mm-hmm.
and all along it was okay.
Oh yeah. So I'm assuming that your tip is plan ahead, and so I will always encourage people to plan ahead as well. Two more questions. I thought
Yep.
I had one last question, but I have one more. How do you decide what you're going to grow?
Um, so some stuff is experiment, some stuff is because eventually I like to go to market, and some stuff is because I want to have access to what I would like to eat.
Okay.
Um, so um, yeah, that's how,
Okay.
and everything's like a combination of both. Like I
Okay.
said, like I like to, like how I like, well, in this particular setup, um, I want it to be like, an ornamental food landscape.
Okay.
Um, but it also has a nursery aspect to it, because I have a lot of plants that I probably like could sell.
Okay.
Um, like I have a whole bunch of aloe,
Okay.
that I just like transplanted. Like one of the mother plants, it gave off like almost 30
Oh,
pups.
oh yeah,
Um,
those.
yeah. So I transplanted those into the ground or whatever to see what they'll do over the
Mm-hmm.
season. Um, we got multiple avocado trees, multiple, what I'm saying, got a
Okay.
bunch of pawpaw trees, everything like that. So I just like things that I'm interested in, like things that I want to try, and I'm like also too like things that my family uses. Like I'm like, there's no way I can't grow collards, because like like where I'm from, like my grandma like is the person around like who cooks collards.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't
That's
not
what's up.
I can't not grow collards, because I need them.
I mean,
I need
well, some black folks, that's all we eat is collard greens. Yeah, you better have some collard greens at every holiday
uh-huh.
um, session. Um, Last and final question. What are your future plans for gardening and farming? I heard you said you want to go to market, but do you have any future plans that you can tell us about now?
uh yeah, so like I said, the space that I'm in right now is rented.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I'd like to get to, sort of like maybe like more so like I think more like of an off-grid type situation is more ideal. Um, but I don't know if I want it to be full, residency, for right now. Um, but like I said, like I'm kind of like building up, uh, like my growing practice,
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge and things like that, as well as the plants to be able to support, you know, something.
So when you say off grid, you mean completely off grid?
No, just something
Um,
to look, just something more rural,
okay, more rural.
because
So maybe
like
you
I can,
you
like from where I'm sitting,
mm-hmm.
like I have neighbors
Okay.
with like 30,
How
40
many acres you
feet,
talking?
40
Two to
feet.
three acres?
Uh, yeah,
Two to three acre.
at least,
Okay.
or at least, or more.
Okay. And you
Um,
drive there and then you go back to your
hmm
residence. That's something you want. Or you're gonna live on it.
yeah. But
Okay.
I would, of course, I would have something to say because like, it can get to sometimes like if I'm out in the country, I'm gonna get in a good groove or something like that. Like I could be out there all day. Like,
Okay.
sometimes like I like to be out there at night too. So
Okay.
I don't,
What about animals? Have you thought about future plans where you might have some chickens, goats,
yeah,
bees?
yeah, I do want. So we did have bees before,
Okay.
but I couldn't. I didn't get to them in time to overwinter.
Okay.
So that
It
was,
happens.
yeah, it was. I don't know what just gonna say. Hopefully they swarmed and did something else.
Okay. Hopefully.
Right, hopefully.
Hopefully. And if not, that's okay too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did have bees. We have worms.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
and yeah, I didn't do eventually like chickens.
Okay.
I do want a couple
Yeah.
hens. Maybe a roost.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe not at the rental place, because then the rental person be like, "What you got them chickens in there?"
yeah,
And then you can like, "Well, I'll offer you some eggs if you
yeah,
can keep
right.
them."
Yeah,
But Barrington, it has been a pleasure talking with you this morning, aka the garden superhero. I want you to stay on your garden journey as much as possible. Start really like honing in on your craft, especially getting more young people involved in growing food, and be blessed with everything that you can accomplish this year.
yes, man. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on and giving me the
Mhm.
opportunity to, to showcase this and kind of get the word out there a little bit more
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
spread the joy,
And
the
yeah,
passion.
the passion. I see your Instagram is coming up. People are
Yeah.
starting to take notice. So keep doing what you're doing on social media to get the word out. And I'm gonna always leave with live your life healthy, free from negativity, and it's always black people. We gotta stay dope. All
Yes.
right, peace.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah.
All right, thank you.